All right, Chris, if you would you please give us your life story in about 3 to 4 minutes?
Life story, grew up in Korea, spent a lot of time playing video games and watching cartoons, and came to school and about 10 years ago, wasted a lot of time, ended up not doing what I should have been doing, and then going on travels all over the place, still playing video games, still watching cartoons, and now I'm here finishing up my geography degree in December. So everything is kind of finally coming full circle, and it's taken a long time, so we're going to see what's happening here.
All right. So, are you a fan of art?
I would say that I have a deep appreciation for art.
Okay. What would you say is like the mode of art that you relate most to?
I think mostly computer designed art, some sort of graphic interface, environmental art, or design. Once again, playing a lot of video games, watching a lot of cartoons, you kind of get into the whole sense of this is the environment of where everything is. This is a sort of artistic take on real life. So when you're playing a video game, you kind of step outside of a house and you just look around and see all the trees, how the light is interacting with it, whether or not there are environmental conditions going on, rain, fog, all that stuff, how all of that interacts together. It's very artistic to me, even going back to, say, photographer Ansel Adams. He just took a whole bunch of pictures of basically the Earth and different light settings. Of course, all of his photos are in black and white, but the different ways that you can have the sun coming down onto a particular scene, or whether or not your elevation is giving you a different perspective, all of that gives an artistic appeal to what you're looking at, to the environment around you. So that's kind of my whole appreciation for art, and going into video games where everything is kind of, you have to create the scene in order for people to really enjoy it. Otherwise, we could all just create, rooms, all gray, no real features, and it would still be a game.
Can you name a scene from a video game that's like your favorite?
Name a scene from a video game. That's kind of tough.
Or maybe just a game.
Well, my favorite scenes are actually traveling scenes. I've played a lot of RPGs. I've played a lot of adventure games, and I think the scenes where your camera is fixed on a character or perspective, and the camera is moving along with the scene in the background moving away, or you're moving towards it, moving across the camera, whatever it is, just the sense of, wholeness, how everything kind of is moving. It's very serene, really. I don't know. That is probably my favorite anyway, just because you have this sense of place. You're in this scene, you're in this cinematic, whatever it is, and your perspective is changing consistently. One of the games that I played was you're on a boat, and you can see the whole continent right there, and I just spend all my time on that side of the boat staring at that continent, even though in the game it's just a foggy distance away. So I think those are my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what game that boat scene is from?
That was actually in Final Fantasy XI. It was a online multiplayer RPG, and all my friends would fast travel everywhere, and I'd say, all right guys, I'm going to be there in maybe 10 minutes. So I'd hop onto the ferry, and they'd get really upset at me and yell at me, but there I am, just watching everything go by real slowly, and they're just, God, are you here yet? Nope.
Is there any reason that you think you connect so well with video games or that type of art?
I think it's because since I was a kid reading books and playing games, I've always wanted to go and see these other worlds, so much so that it feels almost like this world, our reality simply cannot provide. So being able to go into a virtual construct of the specific worlds that I wish I could go to, from fantasy, from science fiction, all of those things, even historically, these in-game scenarios kind of give me it's easier to interact with my fantasy and my goals.
So overall with art, where do you see its place in the world?
I see it kind of coming out as all-encompassing, really. Everything kind of interacts with everything. Once again, going to the lighting of, in games, where the light is at a certain point, how the environment feels. If it's a forest, how full of trees is the forest? Is there a winding dirt path? All of that kind of adds to the whole aspect of this place that you're going to be, this space. And so if you take any one of those things out, then all of a sudden the whole scene changes. If you add anything else in, say if you were to add a whole bunch of butterflies, all of a sudden the whole scene changes. So I kind of see that art is going to be a huge factor in, as we get more technologically advanced, art is going to add a whole different level than we've ever known. So interaction, I think, now is the only thing that we can really get to it.